is, can you think of
Park.
that? Park.
Park, I'm sorry. Park, yeah.
Well, I didn't know. But would you angle it on both sides of the street? Or can it still go can we still have?
We'd want to study that, but for sure, I don't know we want to change the angle on the other side, but on the business side, we would.
Okay.
It'd leave the residential until such time as it became something you want to do. One way is a possibility. There's all sorts of different designs we've looked at. We just don't know which one someone might find. We haven't held any hearings on it, so. But it's all doable. It's just a matter of what you want to do. The rule is that any business that exists in the central business district can count as its parking resources all parking on the main street, on the streets in the city. Therefore, no one has a requirement as a business to provide a parking lot per se in the downtown area. Other zones, they would have that requirement.
And to address the safety issue of the barrier-free parking, right now, the first number I gave was parallel parking right along the street. If you would angle them on Park, that would probably be the assigned barrier-free ones, because we've actually created a safe zone, because they're like next to each other. The door isn't opening out to the street. So that would probably be the area to do that. At the time, I couldn't draw it that way because I didn't have any city direction to do it. So we did it safe and did it parallel all the way around.
What would allow then for two-way traffic on that street? If you're going to have parallel or angled parking and on the other side just straight parallel parking, how much room would there be for two-way traffic?
Should be plenty, considering what you have down by Stumpy's on Elm. If that's a standard, and I assume it is. We've got plenty of cases in town where we're parking angled on both sides and traveling both ways in the middle. And that road is narrower than Park.
Anyone else for some? I apologize.
Just another parking related question. How many spaces have been reserved on site for city employees, library and city employees?
None. There are none. There are no on-site parking spaces at all in the plan as it's shown right now. The building actually takes up almost the entire available parcel, except for setbacks.
Good. Does anybody else have some comments, please?
I have a question actually for Jennifer. At what point, if the city goes ahead, would they find out how much grant money they would be getting? And when does that happen?
I would like to fund the project as soon as possible. We're at the point in the city's application. If the city decides to move forward, there's one more signature document that needs to happen. In a previous conversation with our program director, we'll be able to approve about $250,000 of grant money.
Thank you.
You again?
Yeah. What about building behind the building here? Can that be built on? Right behind us here?
Yes, it can.
Is that an option, I mean, or is that?
It's been studied, Mr. Johnson. One of the teams had looked at redoing this building, adding space to the back. There's some, not complications, but considerations for the VFW and American Legion and the things that they've put in. So we'd have to make some accommodations, but could it technically be built on? Yes, it could. There's just some legal issues that need to be worked out. And then there's also a property owner up here who has some additional legal issues where they might be able to extract certain favors from the city in exchange for another favor. So those things are there, but that group had looked at it, hired, what was the name of the firm? TCI Engineering had come in and done a fairly exhaustive study, and my recollection, without getting a report out, was at the end of the day it was not cost effective to do.
Could you Could you rise and state your name, please?
Eric Lato. I think we should build the new library in the business park.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Question.
Yeah, Norris Kitterberg.
Let's go with Norris first.
Okay, yeah, I grew up here, and I left this community in the early 60s. And from 1960, now 50 years later, most of our successful business enterprises have expanded, reincarnated, or moved to much larger facilities. And they're a success. Yet here we are still in a 1922's facility, and we're bulging at the seams. It's time that we do something. Thank you.
Mr. Fox, you can go
Thank you.
first.
Dan Fox. I have Rushford Hypersonic here in town. You know, 60 years ago or so, that was a great library. Before the technology age and the explosion of information that came with it. Now, it can't serve this community and what we need. At one time, when that facility was built, okay, they were paying it forward for the next generation. It's our turn now to pay it forward for the next generation. The site, you know, that's kind of up in the air. That's fine, that'll be worked out. But the main part of this tonight is the fact that we need to look at, you know, passing the referendum so that they can go for a library and pursue it. But we need to pay it forward. Our kids and our grandkids deserve that. Period. It is a flat out statement. And as was said earlier, the library will expand. They didn't go away. They're going to go, you know, each time everybody said, oh, it's going to happen. Just like when the light bulb was expanded, you know, and invented, and they started manufacturing them. Okay, the candle makers are going to, there won't be any jobs. We'll all be out of work. Well, there are more jobs making light bulbs than, you know, making candles. So it's amazing. But all that information, everything goes together. We need to do the library. Now, from what I hear, it sounds like, you know, within 20 years, we're going to be out of space again. So we need to think about that, you know, from the library planning, you know, side for the spot and what can be done to expand and add to. Maybe it's go up, maybe, you know, it is Lictor's lot and parking and above it. I don't know. But we need to get this plan passed or you know, approved, however, you know, so that at least it can go forward. This isn't a, we're going to do it and it's over with and it's going in that exact spot today from everything I've heard. So, you know, my point is we need it. And I think this community deserves it because we're just going to grow. And technology just will keep growing at an unbelievable pace. And so will the information that we're asked to decipher, that the only way we can access it will be at a library.